thoughts on Jordan getting a real contract?
Yeah, she deserves it so much. So I think really it's just the development. She's worked so hard to grow this year. I think to have that performance in 2 games where she hasn't been getting the game reps, she's been making the most of the Get Better group and just practices and all the film. So yeah, so happy for her.
I was going to ask you about one of your big things is the development side. That's kind of been your forte.
Yeah.
Now that we're kind of near the end of the season, you have this cast of rookies, so many young players. I guess, how do you feel that has just come around this year?
Yeah, I've been really happy with it, Nick. I think especially with the new CBA and just kind of this age of things, I think it's so important because I think you have to kind of, especially in an expansion, you really have to be developing if you want to be in a good position to have assets for the future. And I think I'm really happy to see that, I think we've got a really good core group of young players now. And I think there's a lot of potential with that group. So I think it puts us in a really good position for the future because then, you think about what this group could achieve with 2 more players. I think we could do some really good things. And I think, it's great that this culture of PD has really taken off within the program. Like even today we didn't do a team practice. We just did 2 kind of 45-minute PD playground sessions. And it's great because it kind of, this stage of the season, sometimes it gets a little bit stale. And I think it's nice just to mix it up and the players come in just with the mindset of let's get better today and then we'll go back to practice tomorrow.
Does the, you talk about wanting to build this culture of player development, is it really rewarding for you to see somebody like Jordan who, hasn't really been in the rotation that much this season be able to work her way up?
Massively so. Yeah, massively so. I think to me, that's the real indicator of player development. Kind of got this from Kenny, at the Cavs where, everyone knows the lottery talents they're probably going to be, regardless of what you do, they're probably going to be really good. And I think your true strength as a program and, your coaching staff is how could you turn like a 2nd round pick, a 3rd round pick, an undrafted player into actually a rotational player in this league. I think that's what sets the best programs apart. And that's kind of what I said to the coaches since day one. Like we want to be that program where we can turn any player into a valuable rotational piece. That's our job. And that's what we're going to set out to do. And I've been really happy because, I think that's what, we've shown so far. We still got a lot of season left, so there's even more development we can squeeze out there in this last 12 games.
Similarly to Jordan, Nadia's she's been huge the past week for you guys, and she's had a pretty up and down season. She started and then, loses the starting spot to Sarah Ashley, and then is back in the lineup. What has been her biggest, her biggest piece of development over the past month or so?
So I think learning how to play off ball and the shooting piece with Nards has been huge. So a lot of our focus with her has been this differential learning approach. So it's, a lot of varied repetitions with her shooting and it's exaggerated reps. And I think that's giving her a lot more confidence because she's making these threes in very different, complex settings. And, from the corner, she's shooting from 32%. So it's just the above the break ones. So I think I was really happy with those shots she took. And kind of I said to her, there was a stage early in the season where she was turning them down. And I said, those are the ones I'm going to be upset about because we're never going to sub players or take them out for missing shots. And I don't ever want that to impact playing time because I just think it's the worst thing you can do for the psychology of a player. But you have to take the open ones because that's a really hard decision. If you get into the habit of turning them down to drive them, it's a really hard habit to then go back to taking them. So I'm really glad that she kept persevering. And then, you get games like that Seattle game where, all the hard work pays off.
We talked with Nadia in the middle of the season, and she was, a little disappointed with how her rookie season panned out. And you could tell her confidence wasn't, really high at that moment. With a player like her, how do you, manage the emotions of the game? Or do you just say, like, we're pros, you gotta...
I think Nards has played great for her rookie season. I think you think that 22, moving country, playing in this league for the first time, and you look at what she's done. Like she's got the best matchup every night, and she's, I think, like 90% of the game, she's done a stellar job defensively. That is incredibly hard to do in this league as a rookie, new to the W. So I think there's so much, and then seeing the offensive growth. So I'm really happy with her rookie season. I think, a lot of rookies in this year, like in this league, like unless you're like a top 5, playing time is tough because the league is so good. So I'm just really glad that we've been able to find some time for all our rookies and kind of seen the subsequent development.
How much did Carla do?
Yeah, she did all her shooting stuff. So, very mild. We just want to be precautious, especially with the World Cup coming. It's more taking decisions in the best interest of the players, and we want to make sure, should she be picked, that she's good to go.
Do we know when those are going to be announced?
No, I think it could be any time. It could be tomorrow. It could be a week. So it could be 10 days. So yeah, got to be soon.
What is a PD playground practice?
Yeah, absolutely. I got the plan right here.
I'm just
so
imagining Emily Engstford playing in New York City as a kid, but maybe.
That's why we called it playground. We look for catchy names for things. So our shooting stuff is shooting sandbox, and then so you go in the sandbox, and your job is to be exploratory, right? And it's with PD playground time. It's we call it that, and we explained to them at the start of the year because we want you to do things that you're not always willing to try in a compete scenario. So like in a practice, a lot of the activities are to win and to compete and to beat the practice players. So PD playground time is more about guiding and finding new solutions. So that's kind of hence the name. So it was really today, we just had 2 different groups going 45 minutes each, and we kind of plan it around we call them rate limiters. So it's just things which could be preventing players from being more skillful either individually or in a team-wide context. So and I love these formats because every coach gets a chance to lead something, so it's really good for our development as a staff, and you just get so many focused reps. So yeah, really enjoy days like today. Great, thanks guys, enjoy the practice.